Bonnie here with So Inspired by Bonnie with another Tuesday's tip. Let me get my computer over here set up just in case we have some questions along the way. I'd like to be able to address them. So today's Tuesday tip has to do with GlitterFlex. Now, many of you know that we sell embroidery designs on our website, So Inspired by Bonnie, and we also sell a product that's called GlitterFlex. And what GlitterFlex is a type of heat transfer vinyl. It's a very shiny product that comes with a clear carrier. GlitterFlex can be used a lot of different ways. But first, let me tell you a little bit about our tip. Sometimes it's a fusible product. So sometimes we will fuse it in a spot we didn't intend for it to go. Or maybe a scrap got under our iron that we didn't plan on being there. So it is a fusible product. It's very permanent, but I wanted to share with you some tips on how to remove GlitterFlex from your project just in case you accidentally get it in a spot you didn't intend for it to be. We all have mishaps happen, so I wanted to share this tip with you. A little bit about GlitterFlex. It is, as I said before, a heat transfer type of vinyl. It comes with a clear carrier, and they use this carrier for cutting machines. You can cut with the carrier face down on your cutting machine, cut out a design, fuse the design onto your garment, you're good to go. You do not have to use it with embroidery. So it can be used all by itself, which is really cool. I've seen it used all by itself. I've used it all by itself, putting our logo on some aprons. It can be used, maybe you want to cut out a design either with a cutting machine or by hand, and you can fuse it onto your project, and you can manually sew some decorative stitches or what have you around it. It's safe to use on your sewing machines. It was used in the commercial industry first. That's where I found it from. So they use it on their embroidery machines, so we know it's safe for our embroidery machines as well. It can be used with your cutting machine and put it in an applique on your embroidery machine so you don't have to trim around the edges. If you don't have a cutting machine, you can trim around the edges or you can tear around the edges. Just whichever way works best for you, it'll work either way. I have even seen a tutorial from the Silhouette School where she put this on coffee mugs. Believe it or not, she put GlitterFlex on coffee mugs. I thought that was so cool. And she said, I haven't tried it myself, but I'm dying to try it. She said that she has washed it in her dishwasher for a couple of weeks and it's holding up just fine. So I thought that was really neat. There's a lot of different ways you can use GlitterFlex. It's not just a one-trick pony. So as I said before, it comes with the clear carrier. Now before you put it on for embroidery, you find a little edge and then you pull that off, which leaves you with a very sparkly product. And it's very, very thin, and it's, as you can see, it's really very flexible and it's comfortable to wear. The back side that's not so shiny is where the fusible is. Now this is our gold color. We have over 60 colors at our store, and this is our one of our newer golds. It's called a Vegas gold, and that's without the clear carrier. So it's really pretty cool. Here's a little example of it used on some embroidery. This is from our Snow Buddies set or Snow Buddies collection, and you can see up close it has a lot of sparkle when you move it around and the light can catch it. Now we do sell the GlitterFlex kits separate from the designs, so if you wanted to use the designs with fabric, you're free to do so. Or if you wanted to use the same colors in the GlitterFlex kit or in the GlitterFlex that I used, we sell the kits online as well. Again, they're sold separately. And here's another example where I use the GlitterFlex in a quilt, which will probably go to Colton at one point. I know he's dying to get it, and I know his mom's dying for me to get it finished so that he can have it. But I use the GlitterFlex in all of the little Jungle Buddy animals, and Colton just loves it. He loves all the little sparkly things, but he's little enough yet to get away with that and not be too girly just yet. So I know by the time he's 18, he won't want everything glittery, but at this point, I can get away with it, so I do. So back to our tip. What happens when you get GlitterFlex on a spot that you didn't want it to be? This stuff is fusible and it sticks really, really well, which is great when you have it in a place you want it to be because you want it to stay. If you don't fuse it, since it can be torn, you could pick it out, and we don't want that. So the fusible makes it permanent. Unlike Mylar, where you have to have special designs digitized for Mylar, and it's very translucent, it's beautiful, don't get me wrong. GlitterFlex, on the other hand, is opaque. So aside from a couple of colors that are a little bit translucent or pick up a background color, most of it's very opaque, and so you don't have color showing through like you do with the Mylar. And you don't need, since it's fusible, you do not need to have a special digitized design. You can use your standard applique designs with the GlitterFlex, which really makes it very, very, you can use it in a lot of different ways is what I'm trying to say. But again, our tip, how do we get it off when we've accidentally fused it in a spot we don't want it to be? Well, I went to my husband's garage. Anybody that knows me knows that I have a tendency to ransack his garage and supplies for my sewing room for different things. So I did, and I found a can of WD-40, and I thought, well, that's, very slick. It should remove goo. It removes goo off of my hoops. I love to use this stuff. I learned that tip from my dealer. That's a side tip for you. If you have goo on your hoops, spray some WD-40 on the hoop, let it sit for 30 minutes, go do something else, come back, and it wipes off really easy. So I thought, well, what the heck? Let's try it on the GlitterFlex. So I tried to make everything an equal comparison. So I had a little scrap of the GlitterFlex and I fused it onto some cotton fabric, and then I sprayed the WD-40 directly onto my little scrap on the front and back. I got it pretty well saturated, as you can see. And then the hardest part, I'll tell you, was finding a little corner. It did take me a little while to find a little corner, but there, see, that's about how long it took me to find a little corner. And then you can start pulling it off. And once you get a little bit going, you just keep pulling. So that worked pretty good. It really, I was surprised. I was able to get this off. Now this isn't something that's going to happen super duper quick. Again, the GlitterFlex is a really good fuse. So it's not going to just come off, but it will come off with a little bit of work, a little bit of elbow grease. You can get this pulled off. You see how it's starting to come off? So, I might go sit and watch a TV show or something like that and kind of work on it, but it's a good way to save your project if you have a mishap happen. So, WD-40 did work. So that was one little item in the arsenal. So the next thing I found in my husband's garage was Goof Off. I've never heard of Goof Off, but it said that it was a heavy-duty spot remover and degreaser. So I thought, okay, a degreaser, that's what I need, something that will get the goo off, right? So again, I saturated my sample front and back, and I got a little corner, and I actually kind of liked this Goof Off better than I did the WD-40. it was pulling off a little bit quicker. So I thought that was pretty good. Again, this would work in a pinch if you have that available and you want to save a project and that's all you have. You don't have to go out shopping for expensive stuff. Just ransack your husband's garage. So then I found something else in there. I found a product called Goo Gone. I've heard of Goo Gone. I've never used it, but I thought, what the heck? It's a painter's pal. It said it was kind of safe and would remove goop. So I thought, what the heck? Let's give Goo Gone a try. And it seemed a little bit slicker, you know, a little bit more gel type instead of so liquidy. And again, I saturated the front and the back, and this worked pretty darn good. I got it to pulling off. I would say this was probably my favorite out of everything I tested. See how I'm getting pretty good big pieces that are just coming right off. Actually, that just came right off. So Goo Gone worked really well. That one was a keeper. So if you have Goo Gone, that one will remove it. And then I thought, what about my silicone spray? You know, the silicone spray works really good for degreasing my needle when it's going up and down and not keeping things getting gummy. So what about my trusty silicone spray? I'm trying to get my computer back up, sorry. So I sprayed it just like I did everything else. Actually, I sprayed everything over an ashtray. I didn't spray it next to my equipment like I'm having to do here. But this one was my least favorite. But having said that, after it sat a while, it worked pretty good. It too was getting bigger pieces that were coming off. And this has been sitting a while. And see, I got, just with that extra pull, I got almost all of it off. So I was surprised that even the silicone spray in a pinch would work to get the GlitterFlex. Now, any of these products, Kathy, hi Kathy, she just asked, where do you get all this stuff? Well, if your husband doesn't have it in his garage, I would check there first so you don't have to go out hunting. But I am positive that Home Depot or Lowe's or any place like that would carry any of these products. They carry stuff like that, so I'm sure you could find it in any home improvement kind of store. Let me look real quick to make sure we don't have any other questions. Before I forget though, what I would do after I got the, let me get this Goo Gone, after I got this off, I've got my GlitterFlex off, I would then wash my project, make sure all of the whatever you use, the Goo Gone, the Goof Off, the silicone spray, or the WD-40, whatever you wind up using, I would make sure that it's all off of your project. Make sure it's nice and clean, dry, and then go ahead and use your GlitterFlex and get it in the proper place where you intended it to be. You don't want to use, again, steam with fusing the GlitterFlex because that can interfere with the fusing process. So I'm going to look real quick and see if we have any other questions. Hi Judy, good to see you. Oh, she said the projects was cute. Thanks, Judy. Yeah, Colton's gonna like it when Grandma gets it done. I don't see any other questions. It looks like the questions were answered in our discussion. But feel free, for those of you that were not able to join us live, feel free to ask questions in the comments section, and I'll be sure to look at all the comments and answer any questions you might have. I hope you've enjoyed this little tip on how to remove GlitterFlex from a project that you didn't mean to have it stick where it stuck. So until next Tuesday, take care and bye-bye.